Welcome to the Vantage Fit Corporate Wellness Podcast. This podcast is sponsored by Vantage Fit, the all-in-one AI-powered corporate wellness platform developed by Vantage Circle.
Being productive is something all of us want to be, especially in today's world where multitasking becomes a necessity with hundreds of tasks and short deadlines. And meeting those deadlines often requires us to push ourselves harder, both physically and mentally. Sometimes even after doing all we could, something remains missing, which ultimately leads to stress, anxiety, and exhaustion. So, is there any other way? Or what is really missing from his routine? Is it possible for physical exercise to be the solution to your problem? Let us discuss further on this topic on today's episode of Vantage Fit with your host Dipshi Bhattacharjee. And today I have with me health and nutrition coach LeAnn Smith. LeAnn here works with clients who are stuck in their wellness journey, either by injury, illness, disease, or otherwise. She provides a full spectrum approach of wellness modalities to her clients. LeAnn believes in combining the various elements of healthful living into a unique program for every individual. So, welcome to the show, LeAnn.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us here today, LeAnn. So, tell us about your experience as a health and nutrition coach and how has it been spending so many years of your life in this field?
It's been amazing. I initially was a certified personal trainer and yoga instructor, but I really felt that there was something missing in my practice and something that was missing to offer to my clients. And I realized that becoming a health and nutrition coach was that missing link. It was the bridge that allowed me to support clients from all facets. So now I feel like I can offer clients a very well-balanced, full-spectrum approach to their health and wellness. And it has very much so shifted how I work with clients and how I'm able to support clients to achieve their health and wellness goals quicker.
Wow, that really sounds like a fun job. So now moving on to the topic, according to you, what is the significance of physical activity in today's world?
I think in today's world, as you mentioned in the intro, so many of us are multitasking. We are managing multiple things at one time. We're coming out of a global pandemic. And so there's a lot of heightened, just in our normal day to day, there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of anxiety, just mitigating all of these tasks within our day and just have that happen day in and day out. It starts to break the body down. And so what we're seeing is people that are having the brain fog. They're having a difficult time focusing. They're starting to have more chronic stress and anxiety issues. We're starting to have people that have physical and emotional burnout symptoms. So we're really starting to see people have not only physical effects, but also the mental and emotional effects. So, as just people in general, it's not a healthy, balanced lifestyle for employers. Obviously, we do not want to have our employees to be feeling anxious, depressed, because of course that makes them become unproductive and unhappy.
Yes, exactly. Like even especially with pandemic in the scene, people are working in stress. They are dealing with depression and anxiety, especially working in social isolation. So in such a situation, they are getting both physically and mentally affected. So yeah, you are totally right, like in this. So, and talking about physical activity and its importance in the current world, do you think there is any correlation between physical activity and productivity?
Totally, 100%. There's numerous studies have been shown that taking breaks throughout your workday, it could be as little as 5 to 10 minutes, and going for a walk, just taking time out to step away from your desk, take away from your computer, can not only refresh your mind, let your mind recharge. It can also give you that boost of energy. Maybe shifting your meetings that you have in person from sitting around a conference table or in front of a Zoom chat, take it for a walk. So just movement can actually help stimulate the brain to focus and to process. And there's many positive correlations between movement and productivity.
Even we all of us are more accustomed to the sedentary lifestyle these days, right? So
Sure.
The less the physical exercise, the more fatigued we become, and as a result the productivity levels
and
drop.
Correct. I mean, the human body, just in general, the human body is not intended. It is not intended to be sedentary. It is not intended to sit. The human body, in order for it to actually function properly, must move, which is why we are seeing people starting to have chronic back issues, shoulders issues, neck issues, hip issues. All of these chronic physical issues are due to not only sitting for long periods of time. I mean, we sit when we commute to work. We sit for long periods of time when we work. And then, we don't even want to dive into the fact that we're hunched over our iPhones all day or our laptops all day. Those positions are so against what the natural movement of the human body, which really affects a lot of the physical issues people are having.
Exactly. So how does physical exercise exactly increase productivity?
So first and foremost, it helps with stress and anxiety. It helps us to manage that energy, helps us to become more relaxed and to be able to recharge the body. Mentally, it helps us to become more focused, more relaxed. Many times people will find, I do myself, go for a walk and I find I'm able to process problems. I'm able to think through solutions much easier. Well, there's a science behind that. And happier, more productive employees are those that are able to take mini breaks throughout the day to recharge the mind and the body. And you're right, that afternoon slump can be, that doesn't have to happen if we're taking a little break to go out, take the body out, so to speak, start to move a bit. And also, having a workforce or a culture in your organization that supports and encourages physical activity or just movement or healthier living can actually make your company more of interest for people to want to come work there. So it becomes full circle, creating a culture of that. It starts from the top down, and it starts with the top level of the organization, encouraging and leading by example of movement, of understanding the importance.
On that front, I would like to say that the corporate wellness programs are in the trend for a reason. These days, every organization knows their priority should be employee wellness. They know employees are the main assets of the organization, and keeping them healthy is one of their main, in fact, the primary goal. So even the organization I work in, so here also we are given a set of tasks every week, which you have to follow, like logging in meals, walking a given set of number of steps to complete a particular distance in this and that much time. So even I am going through that along with my colleagues. So all of us are following a certain type of schedule. So we make sure that we are doing all the physical activities like yoga or cycling or something like that. So, and it actually helps because we can keep an accountability of the things we are doing, we can keep our health in check, we can keep our calories in check. And when we see even the leaders doing this kind of physical activities, automatically the workforce gets inspired.
Right, right. And I can imagine the fact that it is part of the company culture is great, because not only do you see your coworkers doing it, but you see, the higher level management doing it too, because it's part of the culture, and that's great.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we aim for. So we want to promote a healthy lifestyle worldwide. Like in every corporate, this should be implemented, right? So the employees should be fit and active. Only then the productivity will improve, right?
Exactly.
So that's what we actually follow. In fact, rewards are given against each task. Like in our organization, we get vantage points as rewards. So we can redeem those points and get whatever, buy or purchase whatever we want to. So that is a way of motivating us. So yes, so that's how this entire our work culture is in my organization. Yeah, so that really helps. And me being a part of that organization really helped. Yeah. Okay, so having discussed about exercises and productivity, how does physical activity boost work outcomes? Isn't it better for the entire organization?
It is. I think so. Couple of things. First and foremost, if you are an organization that champions a positive workforce, a happy workforce, a productive workforce, you are a culture that promotes, much like Vantage Point. You really see the value in it. And so it really does have to start with the culture of the organization. And by doing that, you are creating a happy employee. A happy employee is one that wants to come to work, that doesn't want to be taking a lot of time off, particularly sick time. Because obviously if an employee's not at work, they're not working, they're not being productive. You also want an employee that's going to, when they do come to work, they want to be there. They're happy to be there. They want to be a part of what's happening. And so it is shown that employees that are happy, that are healthy, that are physically, mentally, emotionally healthy are more productive. They're more focused. And encouraging those breaks of movement and exercise and healthy living makes them more productive. And, even those employees that are happy outside of work, they come to work more happy, more ready to work, and more ready to be productive for the organization. So it is about creating a culture that people want to come be a part of. And then once they're a part of it, they are so happy to be there. They're able to be productive. They're not taking sick time. They're able to achieve goals. They're able to achieve tasks and whatnot in a timely manner. And it just creates this culture of positivity.
Yes, definitely. I mean, it is that obvious that a happy employee, a healthy employee is going to be more efficient because that person is physically and emotionally well. And as a result, that person will be more focused in his work. And at the end of the day, the productivity increases. They will be more focused. They will be at work on time. They will have a perfect work-life balance. So I guess this is actually true that a happy employee is someone who is the most productive in the organization. So now, as we know, employers these days are very concerned about the employees' well-being. So what do you think they can do to motivate employees towards doing more physical activity?
I think in general, if you are not an organization that already has that culture, then you have to shift the mindset of the organization to be more based around healthy living. For many employees, it requires incentivizing them. You have to give them some type of incentive. Why should they do it? There's many things that an organization can do. Yes, they can have challenges. They can have, depending on the size of the organization, you can have on-site wellness opportunities. It could be a gym. It could be, trainers that can come on site, or yoga instructors, or health and nutrition webinars, seminars. You can have people come on site and do body composition testing. So there's many things that you can do as an organization, but you have to start from the ground up and help the employees know that this is the culture, even if you're starting it, that this is now the culture of the organization, and this is something that's important to them, and the employees' health is important to them. And for many employees, you're going to have to give them the incentive of it. And the incentive of it may not be being healthier. It may be something else, right? Yeah. And so as an organization, you're going to have to figure out what is that incentive for the employees to want to live a healthier lifestyle. And again, it starts with culture. And I find it to be for organizations much more difficult to create that culture if that already wasn't their culture.
Yeah. Understood.
It's not impossible, but it is more challenging. But I think starting with understanding your employees and how can you give them an incentive to do it? And challenges are the great way, because I think all of us are a little competitive. So having a challenge, like I think you mentioned, you guys do a step challenge. That's always a great one because it's easy. It's easy to track. And it's an easy way for people to start getting healthier.
Yes, and exactly. Like once you start keeping your health in check, so it will every day you will get the reminders, right? That today also you have to achieve this certain level of steps, and tomorrow you have to improve that. So it's better that way, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So now let's talk about motivation. So motivation takes a little time to come into action. So how does one adopt a habit of performing activities on a daily basis?
I think there's a couple different things that come into play. One, mindset. It's understanding. I think a lot of people have this all or nothing type mindset. And realizing that, quote unquote, getting healthy doesn't happen overnight. There's no magic pill. It's about having a mindset of understanding that there's a process to it, that it's not going to be necessarily easy per se, that you might have some obstacles along the way, but having a positive mindset that this is now part of your lifestyle, and consistency. There needs to be consistency with it, and consistency can be relevant to your lifestyle. Understanding that, even if it's going out for a mile walk every day, that's awesome. Whatever that you can work within your lifestyle, that's what works for you. And third, I think for a lot of people need that extra motivation through accountability. Having accountability can help us stay consistent and motivated. So enlist a family member, a coworker, a friend to say, hey, let's come workout buddies. Let's become walking buddies. Let's become exercise buddies. And you help keep each other accountable. That's why people hire personal trainers and health and nutrition coaches, mainly for the accountability.
Yes, definitely. Like motivation takes a lot of time to come by, to be very honest. Like I can also see it in myself. Like whenever I plan to exercise or go for a walk, like I always have a difficult time. Like I always end up delaying that particular session or delaying that particular, like I end up sleeping some more. But whenever there is a person or friend or a colleague who is ready to like work out with me, at that point of time it gets easier. I also tend to think that yeah, I'll have a company, I'll have company to work out, I'll have company to go on walks with. So that is the kind of motivation one which actually works for everyone, I guess. Like when there's someone else to do the activities with, to do the exercises with, you always get a like boost. Yeah, let's do it. So anyway, now in the current world, all of us cannot do without one thing, and that is technology. And it indeed has left its mark in everything we do. So what role do you think does technology play in physical activity and productivity? And what is your take on digital health?
Well, as we know from the last year and a half, not only has, even prior to that, technology has been huge in where fitness, health, and wellness has been and where it's going. So I'll start with like fitness trackers. We have the Apple Watch, we have Fitbits. I mean, there's tons of fitness trackers now, wearable fitness trackers out there. Mm-hmm. And I think they have a place. I think for many people, they can achieve that accountability factor that some people need. Hey, you look at your watch and you're like, oh, I've only done 1,000 steps today. I better get up and move. Mm-hmm. So there's the positive. But on the other side, I've seen it become a negative in that, people push themselves too hard without listening to their body and say, I'm exhausted, but I'm still going to go push myself because I have to reach my number today.
Yeah, so they overdo it, right?
Right. So yeah. I think there's got to be that happy medium. I think for some people, wearable fitness trackers are a positive. And for other people, it probably is not. Learning to listen to your body is probably more important than the fitness tracker. So like many things, there's a positive and a negative, right? Mm-hmm. As far as virtual technology, we've seen, it has been coming for a while. Your traditional brick and mortar gym, that you go to go exercise, or fitness center, who knows how much longer those will be around. I'm sure there'll always be something of them available. But what we're finding, and what's been in the trend for years actually, was going virtual. The convenience of working out when you want is a big plus. And the fact that you can do it from anywhere, anytime, even better. And so I think we're going to continue to see a growing trend of apps on your phone that can, how many of us probably have a meditation app on our phone? I know I do. There's apps for yoga. There's nutrition tracker apps. Yeah. There's so many. Again, they have a place. I really do think they do. They can be beneficial information. But again, there's a positive and a negative. The positive is the great information it gives you. The negative is when you become overwhelmed with it. Then it's not benefiting you anymore. And so just like anything else in life, you have to have balance with it. As we start to see virtual health and wellness platforms become more available, more advanced, I think, again, it's going to be that same thing. My business is 90% virtual. I'll tell you, as a health and wellness business owner, I love it. And my clients love it. Is it for everyone? No. And so I do think there's a place for everything. But you have to assess what works best for you and understand, is that tracker, is that form of technology right for you? Just because it's available doesn't mean it's right for you.
Yeah. And especially with like lockdowns and everything. So these days, like work from home culture is more like, right, suitable for everyone. So in that case, the virtual platforms really helps.
Right. I think, I will tell you here in the US, if there wasn't, for many of my clients and other people that I know, if there wasn't a virtual opportunity to work out, I actually don't know how many of my clients would have been able to have gotten through the last year.
Okay.
And so it's, again, we are going to see, is the trend for more health and wellness fitness technology going to increase? Oh, yes. We are just seeing the beginning of it. And I hope that we don't lose all of the fitness centers that people can actually go to, because I think they all have a place, but there's going to be a happy medium. And again, you just have to decide for you what works best for your lifestyle and your goals.
Yeah, even those fitness centers, I feel they can also start holding their own virtual sessions, right? That way they will not lose all the clients as well.
Many of them are offering hybrid options. So they'll teach, let's say they'll teach like an aerobics class in person, but they're also have it on Zoom for people that want to do it from home.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Right. So those hybrid things are smart. I mean, it's smart for business and it's great for the consumer.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. True. Okay. So with this, we conclude this episode. So would you like to give any suggestions to our listeners?
Probably my biggest suggestion is understand what is it that you are needing. Understand what are your goals. And understand that achieving your goals is not short term. Being healthy, living a balanced, healthy life is not short term. It is life. It is a long-term thing. So first of all, don't beat yourself up. Be kind to yourself and be consistent and enjoy the process. Find movement, find exercises and activities that you enjoy. When you do activities that you enjoy, you are more prone to do them more consistently. So if going to the gym is not your thing and you don't enjoy it, but you enjoy swimming, wonderful. Swim. That's a wonderful form of activity. So find what you like, be kind to yourself, and make it a part of your life.
Yeah. So the ultimate mantra all of us should follow, actually.
Right.
Thank you so much. But last but not the least, if our listeners want to reach you, where would they be able to?
You can reach me on my website, which is www.vibrantlifesource.com. And you can get information about what I'm up to, my virtual platform, and everything that I'm doing. So you can reach me on all social media platforms through my website.
Okay, that's great. So thank you so much for joining us today, LeAnn. I hope you had a great time, and I'm sure this session was very insightful for our listeners. So looking forward to connecting with you again in the future. Bye. Have a great day ahead.
You too.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Vantage Fit Corporate Wellness Podcast. Please do subscribe to Vantage Fit Corporate Wellness Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and our YouTube channel for new episodes.